and welcome to this demonstration of the new custom step Import HTML Table. This step allows you to get any HTML-based table from a website and import it as a SAS dataset. So let's take a look at it, how it works. First off, we of course need a website from which we will pull an interesting table. So I opened up the Wikipedia website for SAS Institute. There is at least this table up here that seems interesting to me, and then also take a look at all the acquisitions that SAS has made over the years. So let's get the baseline URL, copy it, and head back into SAS Studio. I have already opened up the step in the tab mode, and now I will enter the URL here up top in the input field. And then below I have 3 options on how to scrape data from a website. First off, I don't know in which order these tables appear on a website or how many tables are actually on that website, so I will leave the option at all tables on a page. Notice the note below. It informs us that this can be many tables, of course. There could be hundreds of tables on one website. So as we don't know, we will have to give it a prefix for the tables so we can find them again. And then it will enumerate them at the back to add numbers so we can then specify the tables we're actually interested in later on. So let's enter a table below. We are just going to call them wiki tables. And let's run the step. Now this reaches out, pulls in the tables for us and puts them into SAS datasets. And here we are. So we actually found 3 tables on that website. You can see our prefix wiki tables and then the enumerated for each table up top. Let's take a look at the first one. Okay, this seems to be this headline box that we saw with the baseline information of SAS Institute. Next, with _1, we find the acquisition data that we have. And finally, we get some authority control things. That's actually when you head all the way to the bottom on any Wikipedia page, you find these kind of authority control information stuff. That's that table. So we are, of course, interested in the acquisition table. So let us head back into SAS Studio. And in working with this step, we will now switch from the all table mode to a specific table. This changes the note below and informs us that we can now add a number below, and that will extract the nth table on that web page. So for us, it was the _1 table that was interesting. So we will now uptick the step up below. You can of course also click in here and enter a big number at once. And now the table that we put at below will actually become the table that will receive our data. So let's rerun our step. And we would expect now a table in our work that is called wiki tables and contains the acquisition data. Let's take a look. And this is exactly what we are getting. Now, relying on the ordering of tables on a website can be unreliable. Wikipedia is actually pretty consistent in how they build their websites, but other websites change frequently. So it's oftentimes a better choice to work off HTML IDs that have been assigned to a table. For this, we can switch to the third and final mode. And this opens now up some additional context explaining you how you can get at these IDs. And then it gives you another input field where you add the value of that ID down below. For this, as Wikipedia doesn't provide IDs for their tables, I have used this example website where you see there is some tables on that website, and we can take a look at this one. Now, how do you find the table ID of an HTML table? Well, you can just right-click the table, hit the Inspect menu item from the context menu, and then it opens up what is called the Developer Console. Now, I have already pre-highlighted this, but you see this is where we right clicked, and you will never hit exactly the table element. And then you just traverse up until you find the HTML table element. Let's zoom in on this, where you then see a class attribute, and then you see the ID attribute, and members is the one, that's the value of the ID. That's what we will be using to identifying the table with our step. So we will just double click in here, or it doesn't let me at the moment. Okay, so we will then type it. So let's head back to SAS Studio. We will now switch the URL up top, and we will enter members, and we will overwrite our pre-existing table here. We hit run, and this will now produce us a new table containing only the members table data. So here you can see it worked perfectly. Just one more note on using and finding table IDs that is also linked in the README. You can make use of Control F in the developer console, and using this little CSS selector, table then square brackets IDs, will highlight any table within your HTML document that has an ID attribute. This is very handy when finding if there is any tables that follow this schema, so you can reliably and consistently scrape data off websites. I really hope you find use in this step, and let me know if you use it and how you use it. Bye bye.